The Greatest Show on Earth, The Evidence for Evolution by Richard Dawkins, is a comprehensive defense of the theory of evolution by natural selection, presenting evidence from various fields of biology, paleontology, genetics, and embryology. The book aims to explain how life on Earth evolved, and to counter arguments from creationists and intelligent design proponents. Dawkins makes a case for evolution, not just as a theory, but as a fact, a concept that underpins all of modern biology. Below is a detailed summary of key themes and arguments in the book. Dawkins begins by clarifying the distinction between a theory in everyday language and a scientific theory. In science, a theory is a well-supported explanation of the natural world, confirmed by evidence. Evolution, according to Dawkins, is not just a theory, but a fact supported by overwhelming evidence. He emphasizes that evolution explains the diversity of life on Earth through a slow, gradual process of natural selection. Dawkins tackles common misconceptions, such as the belief that evolution cannot be observed directly. While it's true that large evolutionary changes take millions of years, he argues that there are numerous examples of evolution occurring on shorter timescales, observable in real time, such as antibiotic resistance in bacteria or changes in animal populations due to environmental pressures. One of the central pieces of evidence for evolution is the fossil record, which Dawkins explores in depth. The fossil record provides snapshots of life at different stages in Earth's history, showing how organisms have changed over time. Dawkins explains how fossils demonstrate the gradual transitions between species, such as the evolution of land mammals into whales, or the development of feathers in dinosaurs that eventually led to modern birds. The so-called missing links often cited by evolution deniers are not gaps in the evidence, but simply places where fossilization did not occur or has not yet been discovered. Dawkins points out that the known fossils show clear progression and transitions between species, debunking the idea that these gaps discredit evolutionary theory. Dawkins also explores the field of embryology, showing how the development of embryos in different species provides further evidence for common ancestry. He discusses how early embryos of different animals often appear remarkably similar, indicating shared evolutionary origins. For example, the embryos of fish, birds, and humans all show gill slits at certain stages of development, a vestige of their shared evolutionary history. These similarities in embryonic development suggest that all life shares a common ancestor, and that small genetic changes can lead to significant differences in the adult forms of organisms. The discovery of DNA and the genetic code has provided some of the most compelling evidence for evolution, which Dawkins discusses extensively. He explains how genetics reveals the relationships between species, with DNA showing the degree of similarity between different organisms. For example, humans share over 98% of their DNA with chimpanzees, highlighting the close evolutionary relationship between the two species. Dawkins emphasizes the importance of genetic mutations in the process of evolution. Mutations introduce variation into populations, and natural selection acts on this variation, favoring traits that increase an organism's chances of survival and reproduction. Over time, These changes accumulate, leading to the emergence of new species. The book also discusses molecular clocks, which use the rate of genetic mutations to estimate how long ago different species diverged from a common ancestor. This technique provides a powerful tool for understanding the timeline of evolution and corroborates evidence from fossils and comparative anatomy. Dawkins addresses the misconception that evolution is too slow to be observed. He provides examples of rapid evolution occurring in nature, such as the development of resistance to pesticides in insects, or the evolution of beak sizes in finches on the Galapagos Islands. These examples demonstrate how natural selection can act on populations over just a few generations, leading to measurable changes in traits. One of the most famous examples is the peppered moth in England, whose population shifted from predominantly light-colored to predominantly dark-colored during the Industrial Revolution, as soot from factories darkened the trees and made the lighter moths more visible to predators. This is a classic case of natural selection in action, with environmental changes driving evolutionary adaptation. Dawkins also discusses vestigial structures, features that no longer serve a function, but are remnants of an organism's evolutionary past. Examples include the human appendix, the vestigial hind limbs in whales, and the pelvic bones in snakes. These features provide further evidence of evolution, as they are the remnants of ancestral traits that were useful in the past, but have since lost their function. Dawkins argues that the imperfections in the design of living organisms are evidence against intelligent design and in favor of evolution. For instance, the recurrent laryngeal nerve in giraffes takes a long, inefficient route from the brain to the larynx, a path that makes sense only in the context of evolutionary history, where it originally evolved in fish-like ancestors with much shorter necks. A significant portion of The Greatest Show on Earth is dedicated to countering the arguments put forth by creationists and proponents of intelligent design. Dawkins critiques the idea that life is too complex to have arisen without a designer, pointing out that natural selection is capable of producing complexity gradually over time. Dawkins also addresses the argument that gaps in the fossil record, or the inability to explain certain biological structures, mean that evolution is flawed. He argues that science is always a work in progress, with new discoveries continuously adding to our understanding of evolution. However, the overwhelming body of evidence already supports evolution beyond reasonable doubt. One of the challenges people have with understanding evolution is the immense time scale over which it occurs. Dawkins emphasizes that evolution works over millions of years, a timescale that is difficult for humans to comprehend. However, by using analogies and comparisons, he attempts to convey the vastness of evolutionary time and the gradual nature of the process. He explains that the complexity of life did not appear suddenly, but is the result of countless small changes accumulated over an incomprehensibly long period. This gradual accumulation of changes is a central tenet of Darwinian evolution and explains how simple organisms can evolve into complex forms without the need for supernatural intervention. Dawkins concludes with a celebration of the unity of life on Earth. All living organisms, from bacteria to humans, share a common ancestor and evolution provides the framework for understanding the diversity of life. Dawkins emphasizes that this connection should inspire awe and wonder, as it reveals the intricate processes that have shaped life on Earth over billions of years. He argues that understanding evolution deepens our appreciation of the natural world and our place within it. By rejecting the notion of a special creation and embracing the reality of our shared evolutionary history, Dawkins believes we can gain a greater sense of connection to all living things.